Hey, what's going on, Brother Kamal Mahar?
Brother Samat.
Hey, what's going on? First things first, we're going to give our praise to the Father, Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders we learned this truth from. Absolutely. Shalom, what's going on? We learned the whole thing from the GMS camp and all the Akim involved with GMS as well. We had the really true knowledge and the truth. Wholeheartedly believe that, absolutely, through faith. Blessings to the Akim out there preaching his word with wholehearted truth, sincerity. Shalom, brothers, keep on adoring.
Shalom.
And blessings to the 144,000 and 1/3 is our dreams while we doing this work. We love to be one of them number. Lord willing, we one of those men. And obviously to the House of David, the B'yav Dawadah. And what's going on to Confusion of Faces, speaking in different tongues and looking different nations. And the day in Yahawashi Shirah's first Thessalonians 4 chapter. Absolutely. Today, we wanted to get on, had to sit down. Shabbat Shalom, brothers, going on.
Shabbat
and
Shalom.
we wanted to get a sit down on, Esau himself, which is Edom, and put another video up on how they're the wicked. Esau is the wicked, and they're in the Babylon the Great, which is so-called America. And he's going to prove to the scriptures that they are so. And so I wanted to get on first precept. I want to get on. I can get out there. Give me Genesis 25 and go to 21 through 28.
All right, so this is said 25, right?
Yeah, Genesis 25, 21.
21. All right,
yeah.
So Genesis 25 and verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
All right. So right there, we wanted to make that comparison. So obviously in Rebekah's womb, there were 2 nations and 2 manners of people. That's very, very clear cut. So these 2 manners of people in 2 different nations are obviously just 2 different. So it also says that it says that the Akim read, people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And so obviously as we keep on reading, you'll understand who these children are, and you'll see what's going on. Keep going. Go ahead.
All right. And I'm at verse 24.
Right.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau.
All right. So now this is one of our biggest points of this video, that Edom Esau came out of the womb all red, which means he was very different from the average Akim that was out there that was melanated skin. And so when he came out red all over, he came out to the so-called pale skin that you see every day with the so-called white man, which Esau is the forefather of the Edomites in general, called the so-called white man. They were all red. Why they are red? They are red because they have no melanin in their skin, and their blood shows forth through their skin, so you can see it. Look at when you ever see a so-called white man upset, or they're lifting weights really strong and they're struggling, and they just turn really red, or they get ashamed or embarrassed. They get really red, and you see their blood right through their skin. This is what the scriptures is talking about, to prove that the red Esau is the so-called white man, the exact same way you see of him every day. All right, I'll go ahead, continue that right there.
Verse 26. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Esau was 80 years old when she bare them.
Okay, now that's
and Isaac was 80 years when he should bear them.
Con. Now see, right here, read 26 one more time.
All right. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
Absolutely. Now when it said that the second son came out, Jacob, which grabbed the heel of Esau, which means he came out second, which also is symbolic to the scripture above when it says that the older shall serve the younger. And so now when it's symbolic, when Jacob grabs the heel, that's symbolic for Jacob bringing down Esau, and Jacob will be risen back up, and then Esau will be brought back down. It's very symbolic in the scriptures that you learn that right now. Okay, go ahead.
All right, verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents.
Okay, now, oh man, now that's just like, oh my goodness. If you don't understand that, now listen. Now, according to the so-called white man, now you can't tell me these scriptures are adding up through faith. Now, do spiritually, you can see that. Now, what is the number one thing that Esau, so-called white man, does greatly? They hunt, they destroy, they kill for fun. They hunt for fun. They go out in the woods and use their so-called gun. We're gonna get into that. What that gun is? They use their so-called gun and shoot the birds, and they just for sport, and they just kill for no reason. Hang up the animals and put them on their little walls, and they just cunt up the field. And so that's all they do every day, all day. They got hunting season. The only race on a particular planet who is most skillful at hunting is the so-called white man. In the scriptures,
let me point in on that though too. You can tell that Esau is a cunning hunter, and this is their kingdom, because let you see a young Edomite child walking around with a rifle,
right?
With a rifle in his hand. You already know the motherfucker's gonna be on him like, oh wow, he's a hunter. Oh wow, cool.
Right.
Let you see Jake walking around with a rifle.
Right.
What, they gonna gun him down in the street?
What? Oh man.
Yo man.
Let me see your permit, son.
Permit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's crazy.
What are you using that rifle for?
Right. You know what I'm saying? And then it says, finish 27 where it says a man of the field.
So it says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents.
Now, come on, man. You know that's Jake. You know that's Jake. You know what I'm saying? We be chilling. We in the crib. We out the way. And I understand we got our little effery going on because we learned a lot of Esau's ways and a lot of effery we do and stuff as sinful. But in general, man, Jake in the crib. They chilling with they shorty. You know what I mean? Trying to be all cool, and we smooth-skinned brothers. That's just what it is, man. This scripture is in the spirit, man. It's on point. All right, go to all right. So now what I wanted to do is, now that we went into the fact that they're great hunters and they're all red, go to 27. I believe that's Genesis 27, and we're talking about the blessing.
27 and 39, I believe.
Let me see. Yeah.
I got it right here.
Okay, go
ahead. It's 40, but I'm gonna start at 39.
Okay, go ahead, Con.
All right, so this is Genesis chapter 27, verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be in the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of the heaven from above. And for by the sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
See, now right there. Now through the scriptures, we know this is another video where we talk about how Jacob had finagled and went aside and basically got the birthright from Esau, which was already ordained. It was already going to happen that way regardless. At the end of the day, though, right about now, the blessing of Esau's so-called white man, Edom, which means red, is also the fact that the blessing is the sword, and they live by the sword. Who has the greatest technology and the greatest weapons on the planet Earth? And where do most of these weapons come from? It came from Esau, the so-called white man. They are the greatest inventors and the greatest people of these swords, the handgun, the knife, to the machine gun, to the tanks, to the airplanes with the missiles on them, the machine guns on the 50 caliber bullets, all these type of things. I mean, they even got these little technology, little mosquito fly things where they can shoot off and then beam onto somebody of a target, and without you see, it's a fly. Next thing you know, it pops in the forehead and it has a blast strong enough to be a bullet through the brain and kill you. I mean, they getting crazy out here with this particular technology, and not to mention the all-be-all, the ICBM missiles, the nuclear warheads in general, which is going to be the second death coming up. But Most High put the spirit on Esau to obviously build these things for the particular situation can go down. But you can see that they are the number one #1 sword holders, and the modern day sword is the gun, and they control and rule anything with it, and it's obviously being seen. That sound right?
Yeah, I got a precept for that. So it's 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan shall get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Hey.
You know, we know about y'all devices, Esau. We know about all the little technologies y'all got, everything y'all trying to do. Not even just, physical devices, but, mental and spiritual things, so to say, that you're doing. Like, trying to take the so-called black man out of the family. Like, I got a story of a sister who once told me where she said her and her husband were going through little hardships. And they went down, she herself went down to the welfare office, to apply for welfare. And the lady had the nerve to tell her, she said, listen, if you can kick your husband out of the home, we can get you approved for welfare. And that just goes to show you that their goal is to take the man out of the household. Because if you take the man out of the house, it's destroyed.
Right, and causes the woman to be independent and have this power. And when it says Yahawashi said he'll make a new thing where a woman shall come past a man.
Exactly. And a woman can't raise a man. I'm sorry. A woman cannot raise a man. A woman can, teach a man certain things, but ultimately a woman cannot raise a man. Because a woman doesn't know what it is to be a man.
Absolutely.
Not only that, I don't even call these men nowadays. I call them beta males. It's like, can you really consider these males to be men these days? Yo. They have no integrity. They have no moral code that they govern themselves by. Right. Adulterers, fornicators, idolaters. They dabble in all type of different religions and confusions. Right. And then you go and teach your kids these things.
Yo, absolutely.
It causes confusion. Babylon.
And that's crazy, man. You know what? In the spirit, it's crazy how the scriptures call them. When we grew up, we always knew they were so-called white people, and we were so-called, black people, or whatever, which is bywords. But I did some research back in 1681. 1681 was when the first so-called Edomites were considered to be white people. When it was basically like a history of how so-called Edomite women was into the Jake. They was into the so-called black men or whatever, and all these laws was being passed. They was taking them as husbands and all like that. It was like, so that's crazy how that was going down. But due to those laws and all the tribulations that was going down because of that, 1681 was where the so-called white man created the name white. And it became this separate entity of goodness and gracious. Now I looked up the word white. I actually wrote that down. White actually was considered to be friendly, favorable, morally pure. And so-called Edomites are none of that. And so it's crazy how it's crazy how they able to basically have the white name as if they're like, they like the good and gracious, and they got this all stuff going on.
And for them to, take dominion, they had to reinvent themselves.
Right.
Because everybody know the Edomites was fucking evil and wicked, so what did they have to do? They had to reinvent themselves. So
exactly.
They gave themselves this new name. So going to be white. Because what does white represent? Like the Akim just said. Morally pure, gracious, friendly. Reality, them motherfuckers rule and live by the sword. How you going to trust someone that lives by the sword? They fucking snakes.
Hey,
man.
You know what? Absolutely. You know what? Speaking of that, though, speaking of that in the spirit, bring out Revelation 13 and 10. Read out 13 and 10 one time. Get it with that one. That's the spirit right there. Because when we talk about the sword, I'm like, listen, man, because you know what? Esau got to go down anyway. And whatever they've done to people got to happen to them in return. So go ahead and read that.
All right. Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. My family start at verse 9. Any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
You see what I'm saying, man? And the Most High, Yahawashi, in due time coming up very soon, you know what I'm saying? Their particular sword being killed with is on the scene. They about to be, got the sword in general, and now they're going to be dying with the sword as well. So they're going to get recompense for everything they have done to us in general. Now, the point was the whole white was, what did they make the so-called black man? They made it a byword of Negro, African Americans, and also black in general, which that's all we ever heard. So now we call our own selves black, which also we looked at the word black as well. Black was considered fierce, terrible, wicked, meaning without light, bad, no mercy, and darkness. So the opposite of what white would be. So which would be obviously they're the gracious and good things and we're the negative and bad, which seems to be that way because any situation that we go into that's considered to be the same action that the white man does, we're like this all bad and mighty, fierce demon. You see what I'm saying? Like, let them riot. It'd be like, oh, the kids are just, they need some help. And, they got to get worked on with their attitudes. And, they don't deserve to go to jail because they're going to be hurt. But what comes to rioting, what come with so-called black men, it's all, they're devils and they are mean. They just destroy. They need to be, they're monkeys and just heathens and all kinds of wicked craziness they talking about.
Black culture is definitely what it is, but we ain't black.
Not at all.
A lot of our people, have been systematically brought down to think that they are black, and that's why they act like they black. But that's just Esau systematically trying to bring us down because like the scripture says that they have taken crafty counsel against us to try to cut us off from being any remembrance and from being a nation, and that's all it is. But that's one of the curses.
Yeah, man, and they're kind of it's more.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, well, what's going on is, obviously, they're considered, everything they have done, they done brought us over in slave ships, they done brought us over, which is part of the curses.
That's the spirit. Good look, Deuteronomy 28.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Deuteronomy 28:68. Talk about that. So in this case scenario, obviously the so-called white man is obviously, the reason for all these things to go down, which I was going to bring some more scriptures on that. But in the spirit or whatever, they do wicked things and all they know is wicked and they know no righteousness. So in the spirit, I had a precept. I want to hit up Job 9:24, which is like famous. Job 9:24. Let me see. Got it. Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So there we go again. And the wicked is obviously Esau, and that's the thing that they do. Because you got to think about it. Who are the top people on the earth in this kingdom? Not to mention, what was Esau's blessing? We just stated. His blessing was the fact that he would have the fatness of the earth and thereof. So right now, the fatness of the earth is given to the top people, the elites, Rothschilds, and all different elite billionaires are the Esau so-called white men. The top race right now on this planet earth is Esau, the so-called white man. And now to be more in depth, I also wanted to get into the precept. I want to get into Proverbs 16:4. I actually remember that by heart. Like, yeah, get up, bro. You got Proverbs?
I got it right here.
Yeah, Proverbs 16:4.
All right, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 4. And the Lord had made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil.
Exactly. So obviously what the scriptures is talking about is the Most High has a left side and he has a right side. And the left side is obviously the wicked and the right side is the righteous. But so he also created the wicked, which is so-called white man, for the purpose of the day of Jacob's trouble, when Esau shall come in like a flood. Isaiah 59:19 talks about. Now there's a role for them to play. They have to be in that role because they need Esau to come in like a flood in order to see what the wicked is and actually have the role of destruction. So that way, because 2/3 of our people got to die in the first place. So they have to have a role, but after their role is played, they also will be destroyed as well. And I said that's pretty much what's going on. So he created the wicked, and he also created the righteous, which the righteous will be Jacob, and the wicked will be Esau. And so you know what? And to make that more stronger, before you keep going, I'll go to Malachi 1:4.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Should be Malachi 1. Yeah, Malachi 1:4. Absolutely. Talking about the border of the wickedness. And it just keeps on going. The scriptures be on point with the so-called Esau.
All right, so Malachi 1:4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them, the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahawah hath indignation forever.
See, there it goes again. See, that's the spirit right there. So he created Edom for the wickedness. Now we can read scriptures where it doesn't say it, but then again, we also know that Esau became Edom after he gave up his birthright to his brother Jacob, which Edom will also refer to red, Edom Esau. And so now it just said, read it one more time. What did it say about the Edom? Is it, who was it? Who was it again?
Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahawah of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
Right, the people for the Lord have indignation for forever. It's Edom Esau. See, there you go. That's a perfect cut right there for making more adamant that Esau is Edom, and also Edom Esau is made to be the wicked. They sold their birthright, and they would no longer ever in the history of mankind, ever in the past, present, or future, will ever have any right to the kingdom of heaven. It's a wrap, and it says it's for the people of indignation forever. Forever means exactly what it means. There is no, all right, it's cool now, and it's okay to come into the kingdom. Nah, forever. You're made for the indignation forever. And so that goes to show how that works out or whatever, and how Edom Esau is made to be the wicked. Got something out?
Yeah, matter of fact, while we talking about the wicked, so just so y'all know who Esau is, how we can tell y'all Esau is a so-called white man, let me just go into the book of Obadiah.
Obadiah. One particular chapter, but it's like but it's powerful. Like, yo, it's powerful.
Obadiah, small chapter, man. Trying to find that book.
Yeah, it's like the Amos.
Yeah, I know. Like, these pages, you know how these thin pages be.
Yeah.
You be scrolling past.
You gotta take care of them too.
You
don't want to rip them and nothing like that too.
There we go. I got it. All right, so let me start at verse 3. It says, "And the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?" And go over on that, we read in Genesis chapter 25, where it said how how Jacob grabbed the heel of Esau, being, significant for, Jacob bringing Esau down to the ground, and then Jacob being on top. Like it says in the book of 2nd Ezra, if I'm not mistaken, or 1st Ezra, where it says that for Esau is the end of this world, and Jacob is the beginning of that follows.
Yeah.
So Esau is prideful right now. They think they on top right now because they rolling everything. They think that they not going to be brought down. But these elites, they know the Lord coming. That's why they building all these devices and all these bunkers and all these weapons of war. They trying to do this, like the Trump was talking about building the space defense or something that to stop the what they call it ignorantly the so-called UFOs.
Oh,
that's the chariots of the Lord. But they know, they at least know that those are the chariots of the Heavenly Father. They know.
That's the spirit. Yo. Hit him with the 4, what you just said.
4?
Hit him with 4.
And thou shalt exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence I will bring thee down, saith Yahawah.
Oh my goodness. If that ain't the spirit, oh my goodness. The Akim just said something about their space force. And you can't tell me that Babylon the Great isn't signified as the eagle. You tripping. Like, yo, this is no fluke out here. This is definitely what the scripture talking about is spot on.
Exactly.
That Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, is United States. It just said, and the Akim just said the space force, where they're trying to put up a space force up in the sky or whatever, where it says the Most High will exalt thyself as the eagle, and thou set thy nest among the stars. That's crazy. And then it says, thence I will bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahawah. Yo, that's crazy. That was just crazy how that just.
And they know the nuclear missiles is coming too. They trying to prepare for all that. They trying to prepare.
You know what? Also, I like how 3 is too. You can get to the Akim out here. Where are Edomites so-called from? The Caucasus Mountains,
right.
Which they dwelleth amongst the rocks and the caves, right? Read 3:3 one more time.
And the pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, that thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
Yo, you can't tell me that's not Edom Esau. Now let's go in the spirit with this one a little more further. Okay, so now we know the Caucasus Mountains and Edom Esau dwellers in the clefts of the caves and in high places. Look at the considered cities that we see every day.
About to bring that up,
skyscrapers, being on the 36th floor. You know what I mean? Being the top floor is considered one of the thoroughest and most great people. Luxury. You see what I'm saying? This is the mindset and the movements of Edom Esau. If that ain't Edom Esau, then y'all tripping.
Not to mention that, just look at Google. Just take your phone and Google Mount Seir one day. Which it has another name today. I knew it, but it's stuck in the back of my head. But just Google Mount Seir one day, and you're going to see how Mount Seir was designed and the different pillars that they had. Look at ancient Rome, the same thing. Look at today in Egypt now, in America, right? Look at America. You got the different, not to mention you got the pillars and stuff, all the little historical buildings and everything, the White House, all these different libraries and stuff like that. Then you have, look at just like in ancient Rome, how they had the domes for entertainment. It's the same thing that's going on today. They give you these sports. Right. They give you these sports to blind you from the stuff that's going on. Because football season is now. And when football season, ain't nobody worried about nothing else going on right now. Right. It's football. And they put you in a dome arena. This ain't nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun.
Nothing. This is crazy how they are.
It's the spirit, because and that just goes to show you that reincarnation is real. These ancient spirits coming back today, and they have that yearn and that desire for that living that they used to have. That's why it's the same thing that's going on today. They still hunters today. They're still cunning and hunters with the sword. They still red today. They put their nest in the side because they used to being high in the high mountains. They love the cold. It ain't no different than what's going on today.
You know what? Also, you see where it says, who shall bring me down to the ground? That's a question of great pride and being very proud. And the Most High does not deal with pride and proudness at all. And that's all Esau is full of, is being proud and prideful. It's also a good cut, the fact that they're the opposite of what Jacob is. Jacob, the true Jacob, the elect, which is all the Most High Yahawashi is dealing with. The elect men are going to be very humble, which Esau is nowhere near humble. Everything you see out here is about no humbleness and about being the best you can be and being a millionaire. And the Most High doesn't deal with mighty men at all. So, and the mighty men in Scripture talk about how they're going to be brought down low. So. That's a real good cut right there. I think Obadiah was like a smasher just right now.
Can just read the whole Obadiah. Oh yeah, it's one chapter. Just read the whole Obadiah. It just gives you a clear example of what happens to these heathen and what's going to happen. Absolutely. Esau has to pay for all the wickedness that they've done and all the wickedness that they're doing today. Right. They always want to tell you, oh, that happened 300 years. That happened over 100 years ago, 200 years ago. We are not our ancestors. I'm not all. Now, granted. It is true, not all so-called white men own slaves. But still, you were of these families and of these people where we all know that Yahawah deals with nations of people. When he curses someone, he curses their seed mostly. Right. When he curses a person of a high esteem, usually he curses their seed. Right. That's how we're in this situation there, because not all of Israelites were wicked, or not all Israelites went off. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, it was a good amount of righteous brothers. But, the majority, were wicked and, was falling to these idolatries and all these other false gods and stuff like that. But that's where, that's where it talks about how 2/3 of our people shall be cut off. That's a lot of people.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's, if you want to bring that out, that's, what's that?
Zephaniah?
No, that's, Zechariah 13 and 8.
13 and 8, right? Yeah.
And you just said something too in the spirit. I'm gonna get that out. I remember seeing that, something about the other nations, like the actual talking about You know how like, the forefathers that did that, and then so now you going by the seed.
Con. What's that in Isaiah?
Yeah, that's in Isaiah, I believe. Yeah, I should be able to find that. I believe that's let me see. God, I knew their words, their thoughts. I had it. I know. I was around. Might be even 65. Akim will pretty much know what that was. Judgment of the wicked, blessing of the glory.
I know the scripture you're talking about. I got it on my head. I just can't think of the word exact. I know the scripture you're talking about. I can't even think about how to phrase it to search it on my app. But I know exactly what scripture you're talking about.
Yes, it was talking about the forefathers and stuff like that. It's alright though. I'm pretty sure that for another video we'll pretty much get it, because sometimes the scriptures always lose you sometimes to come back. You know, because we in the spirit or whatever. But I don't want to. They shall not build, labor in vain. There goes they should not labor in vain. That was the one scripture I was looking for last time too as well. That's all right. I'll find it though. It's all good. We'll get into it. It could be even 60 though.
But why are you looking for that? While we on the topic of all the wickedness that they do, let me bring Isaiah 10:1, where it talks.
Okay. Yeah, bring it up.
And this is what what we going through today. You see, all right. So Isaiah 10:1, it says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, that write the grievous in which that they have prescribed." So all today's society, all we see is Esau and these unrighteous decrees. Like I don't know if your Akim seen, but on Instagram there's this dyke John going around that she was letting these little kids take a hit of this weed.
Oh,
you seen that video?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, so she was letting these little kids take. I'm talking about a baby. I'm talking about a babe, like not even a year old probably, taking a hit of this weed, and she got, if I'm not mistaken, like it was like some outrageous number, like 45 years in prison for that shit.
Really?
45 years. But mind you, you got fucking Edomite devil kids walking in churches shooting up shit, and they walking away scot free or with a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
You got motherfucking Edomite cops killing Jake dead in the street with no weapons. You got like clear cut on camera getting suspensions. You got motherfucking Edomite devils raping children, getting months in prison. But a so-called Israelite woman who is a dyke gets 45 years in prison for letting a child take a hit of weed. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah,
she got jail for that. Like,
she got time. That's what I read. She got time, bro. Time.
Oh snap!
And like she deserved to be punished for that. The Lord going to deal with that ultimately. But 45 years. We see unrighteous decrees all day long. It's at this point it's a he said she said type of game, because he said this, we say this. Who you think favor they're gonna take in? They're gonna take Jake or they're gonna take Esau?
Absolutely.
It's not our system. It's not our rest. It's not our. It's designed to go against us.
You know what, man? And all that but say, we're gonna wrap this up in a little bit. Yeah. Basically, you know what I mean. This is all setting up for race wars. It's so much unfairness stuff going on. So much it could be that Esau will get away and Jacob will go to jail, and it's a constant just unfair battle going on.
Jacob
where
fed up.
It's definitely going to be set, because the Most High going to put a spirit on Jacob, man. They're going to really start doing some numbers, and they're going to start really getting out here. And you know what I mean? I'm biased right now. I'm in the spirit. We ain't for us, but I'm willing to bet Jacob going to win that battle anyway. You know what I'm saying? It ain't for us, man. We don't live our life in the carnal. We live in spiritual weapons. So, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, though, Most High, you know what I mean, going to give us opportunity. Lord willing, one of those men. Jeremiah 51:20, that thou art a battle axe. So we hope to be one of those battle axes when the time comes. We're going to be able to fish them out like Jeremiah 16:16 talks about. Those fishers and hunters. So it's all good. We just wanted to bring out that Edom Esau, man. They got to go down. The destruction. They are red, not white. And we're brown, not black. You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to bring that out. We want to definitely want to get the Akim out there telling them, you know what I mean, be enduring. And just preach the lost sheep. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And that's what we wanted to do. So with that, Shalom.
Shalom.
We want to give our praise to the Father, Yahawah, by Sham Yahawashi, by Sham Rakak Wadash. And double honors the apostles and elders learning truth from. Again, blessings to the Akim out there preaching his word with whole our truth, sincerity. And blessings to the 144,000, the 1/3, the first fruits of kingdom of heaven, the B'Yav Dawadah, house of David. And what's going on is confusion of faces, speaking different tongues, looking in different nations. Shalom.
Shalom.